for joining me today to learn more about how to use your Posterita point of sale system. Today we are going to talk about creating and managing multiple store locations and multiple terminals. So the first thing to do is let's go ahead and look at how you create a new store in the system. Now Posterita is great for multiple retail locations because keep in mind it is located in the cloud, which means all of your data is stored into a central database and you can retrieve all of your store information from your multiple locations in one place. So let's take a look at creating a new store. To do a new store, you go to Settings. And let's go ahead and take a look at our existing store list. Now notice here that I have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stores listed in my store list so far. So I'm going to show you how to create a new one. Go back into Settings and let's create a new store. The name of my new store is going to be Austin South. Now you can go ahead and fill out the following information here. Just your contact information basically. I'm going to go ahead and set my state as Texas and I'm going to hit save. Now a nice thing about the system is that once you actually create a store, there's a lot of things that automatically populate for you. So one of the things that automatically populates is your cash drawer. Let's take a look at the cash drawer. Now it's important to make sure that all of your cash drawers are tied to the proper terminals because you have to manage your cash amounts in each terminal separately. So once we created our Austin South store, you'll notice here that we actually have our Austin South cash book automatically created in the system. So it's important to go into this cash drawer and edit your float amount that you're going to have in the cash drawer for reconciliation at the end of the day. So I'm just going to put $200 in here and I'm going to hit save. So now we've got our float amount set. The next thing to take a look at is going to be your terminals. So you can access terminals right here. And let's go ahead and view the terminals list. So notice that once I created my Austin South store, the system automatically populated an Austin South terminal for me. Now terminals are basically just your individual cash registers. So say that my Austin South store has an additional terminal. Well, what I'd want to do is create another terminal for the store as well. So to do that, we just go to Terminals and click Create a New Terminal. And we would fill out the corresponding information. So I'm going to call this terminal Austin South T2. So I know it's my second terminal. And then I'm going to designate it to the store that it's tied to. So in this case, it's Austin South. Now, sales tax, you want to leave this blank if you don't want to override the tax that you've already set in the system. And the same thing for purchase tax. Now default sales customer is just going to be the default customer that would walk into that location. Now on the warehouse, this is actually where your items are going to be coming from for your store. So in this case, we're just going to go ahead and set our warehouse at Austin South. And we also want to set the cash book to Austin South cash book. So you notice it's got that populated automatically. Now locked terminal basically prevents any sales, and auto lock is a feature that once you close the till, the terminal will be locked for a few minutes. This is done so people can't go ahead and sell right away after the terminal has been, or the till has been closed. And then down here at the bottom, this is the bank information that this terminal is actually tied to. Once this is actually set, we can just go ahead and click Save. And now that we've saved our terminal, our new Austin South Terminal 2, let's go ahead and just check and we'll see in the View Terminals list that we actually have our Austin South Terminal 2 registered in the terminal list. Now, each employee actually has roles that are set in the system. So these roles basically allow certain employees to access only certain parts of the system. So for example, you might not want to enable your store employees to change the terminal that they're working on because you want to have that set for your store. So let me go ahead and show you where those roles are found. Just go to the home screen and you'll see on the right we have this button, Employees. Now you can see the user list, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And you can see here that we have one user. And if we go back in to the home screen and go back into the permissions tab, this is where you can actually create roles. So you would create different employee roles and just add all of your employees in here. And then we can also view role list. So let's view role list, and I'm going to show you how you can set these roles. So here we have the administrator role. Let's take a look at the permissions that are set for this. Basically, the administrator is going to be the person that has access to all of the system. But the way that you can disable the employee from having the ability to actually change the terminal that they're working on is you would just untick this box and click Save. So that's how you can set that role. Now, if you have questions about what terminal you are working in, you can simply go up here to the admin screen and click Information, and you can see that we're actually set in the Austin terminal right now. So if I want to change the terminal, I am admin, so I have the ability to do that. Now, notice that right now we do not have the Austin South terminal in here. So I'm going to go ahead and close out. Go ahead and get this terminal refreshed in the system, the Austin South terminal. So let's go ahead and log out and log right back in so that we can refresh the system. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our information. Change terminal. And now you see that the Austin South terminal has been populated and everything's refreshed. So once we have our new organization, Austin South, then we can actually select which terminal in the Austin South store that this system actually needs to be working on. So I'm going to go ahead and select the new one that I just created and hit OK. Now the last thing that's really neat about having all of your terminals separated is that you have the ability to pull up sales reports on each of the individual terminals. So let's go ahead and take a look at that for our new Austin South Terminal 2. To access this report, you simply click into Reports and you click Terminal Sales Report. And I want to view the Austin South store Terminal 2. And you notice that it provides a list of all the sales in Austin Terminal 2. So in order to do this, since this was a new terminal, I had to actually create some product sales in the system, but this is where you can retrieve that information. So it just allows you to track all of your transactions based on the terminal within each of your different stores. And that's all for today. So thanks a lot for joining me, and happy selling.